What's going on, Moto fans? It's Moto Bear here again, and today's video is going to be my top 5 motorcycle myths and legends. So, we've all heard the tall stories about what will happen if you ride a motorcycle, the weird things you can do to make your bike faster, or what to do if you crash. Most, if not all, I think is nonsense. So, here's my view on the top 5 myths and legends. So, number 1, you should lay your bike down if you're going to crash. That's completely wrong. For one thing, most accidents happen so quickly that as a rider, you're simply not going to have time to think about doing that. It's also a bit odd that you should try and crash before you potentially hit whatever you're going to hit. So, if you actually did have the time to both consider and act upon such an idea, you'd have plenty of time to avoid the accident altogether. You should never ever try and lay your bike down. It's not going to help. Instead, shed as much speed as you can, stay upright and use both your brakes. So, myth number 2. Motorcycles are smaller than cars or trucks, so police speed radars won't be able to detect you. Who actually believes this? Just because your motorcycle is not as big as other road vehicles, it doesn't mean that you can dodge the radar. If a radar gun can clock the speed of a baseball, it can clock the speed of you. I mean, today's police lasers are extremely high tech and far more accurate than in the past. In fact, they are said to be so good they can lock on and register the speed of a flying insect. I mean, that might be an urban myth in itself. Either way, just because you're speeding on a bike doesn't mean you're going to evade the radar. Stay safe, people. So, myth number 3, people who say it'll never happen to me. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it will. Just because you've ridden for years without falling or getting into an accident on a motorcycle doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. Always ride prepared for the unexpected, and remember that it's never a case of it happens, but when it happens. And if somehow, some way, it doesn't ever actually happen, that's probably because you were very well prepared. Myth number 4, loud exhaust saves lives. Yeah, there are a few situations like where you're right next to the car driver with his window down, who's about to change lane, where full-time noisemakers might help the driver notice you, but all that noise is directed rearward, doesn't do much in the most common and much more dangerous conflict where a car turns in front of you. Maybe it's the fatigue caused by the noise, maybe it's the attitudes of riders who insist on making annoying noise, or perhaps loud bikes annoy drivers to make them aggressive. Whatever the reason, the research shows that bikes with modified exhaust systems crash more frequently than those with stock pipes. If you really want to save lives, turn a loud jacket or a bright helmet colour which have been proven to do the job, or install a louder horn. Otherwise, just shut up. So, the 5th and final myth is other drivers don't care about motorcycles. It may seem hard to believe at times, but other drivers almost never actually want to hit you. Most of those near misses come about because they don't always know you're there, even when you're right in front of them, seemingly in plain view. You can be obscured or completely hidden by glare, by other things on the road, by the car roof pillars, the handicap hand tag, or by other traffic. Of course, not all drivers think motorcycles and make the effort to look that extra bit harder to see if you might be there, hidden by that obstruction in the blind spot. Instead of assuming that they will ignore you even when they see you, you should help make it easier for drivers to spot you, especially as the population ages and more drivers have greater difficulty picking you out. To overcome the fact that you might be hard to see and harder to notice, wear bright colours, especially on your helmet and jacket. Run your high beam during the day. Think about the things that can hide your bike from other drivers. Things that can be as common as the sun behind you, the car ahead in the next lane, or a couple of the roadside poles that line up on the driver's line of sight towards you. Make an effort to ride in or move to a location where drivers with potentially conflicting courses can see you before they stray your way. As always, Moto fans, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, Moto fans, don't forget to like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. So for now, Moto fans, Moto Bear out.